All right, y'all, welcome to the show. So, the hits never stop coming. It's, in just a second, we have an NLRB whistleblower who basically implies that DOGE is committing treason. Now, that's worst case scenario. There's another potential scenario where one of the DOGE hackers has been hacked by a hostile foreign country. But wait until I walk you through all this. This is a colossal scandal. So we're going to lead with that in just a second. We'll also talk a bit about Fox hosts who apparently are chugging fascism juice live on air. They've really taken the mask off. This is there are no lines. Like, they literally have no lines about what Trump can do. To them, it's all fine. Then we'll get into Jon Stewart, who gets serious about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We have Elon was effectively caught in this perverted Nazi breeding cult. There was a big Wall Street Journal article on that. We have Republican senators are now turning on Trump. I don't know how much stock I'd put in Republican senators being principled, but nonetheless, there's at least a little bit of a conversation to have there. Bill Burr is going to explain perfectly how billionaires are the problem. I will show you the most brutal political ad of all time. I'm pretty sure that's my conclusion on it. I'm curious what all you think. And then also a new story later on about how Trump's corruption is completely and utterly spiraling out of control. So we have all that and more. Everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel. You know that helps out big time and that costs you nothing at all. And of course, much love and appreciation to all of you who keep this show running by supporting us on Patreon. A lot of you guys give $2 a month. A lot of you guys give $5 a month. The real ballers out there give $7 a month. And that's why this show is grassroots media, man. This is real independent media. We're not like all these assholes who are new corporate media and fake independent media. Very proud of that fact. I've never talked to an advertiser. As you all know, you fund it from the ground up, and we have the default ads on YouTube, and that's it. And it's going to stay like that. So thanks again for all your support, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So let's start with this. NPR had a huge story that they released about how somebody who works at the NLRB, which, remember, basically what the NLRB is, they are like the labor police in this country. So if you have a dispute with your boss and you're an employee, you go to the NLRB. If you're trying to unionize to make it so that you and your fellow workers get better pay, better benefits, etc., you go to the NLRB. Well, of course, DOGE absolutely dismantled the NLRB and destroyed it 15 ways to Sunday because Elon Musk is a union buster and he hates working people. So we have a whistleblower at the NLRB who basically goes into detail about what he witnessed firsthand that DOGE was doing there and why it's so immensely concerning. So this guy's already done a few interviews. He did one on CNN. He also spoke to Maddow as well, and NPR did a long piece on it. But let's listen to the breakdown because this is really eye-opening stuff. Here we go.
There are a few different sort of buckets that we can see in terms of what DOGE is doing. And I would say the first bucket is them just breaking stuff. Right? The Social Security Administration broken. So they no longer answer the phone, their website doesn't work, their field offices are totally overrun and non-functional, breaking Social Security Agency. The IRS, they're doing the same, just breaking the agency. Today's April 15th, today's tax day. We'll see how well this tax season works out. Same with student loans. They shut down the Education Department and its handling of federal student loans. They moved student loans randomly to the Small Business Administration, which is not at all equipped to handle it. Now nobody's answering the phones or the email, and the websites don't work on student loans. Nobody knows what's happening to their student loans. So that's one sort of category of what we can see them doing. That's bucket one, right? They are breaking stuff. Bucket two, they are slashing stuff out of the government that they appear to not even understand.
You propose more than $11 billion in cuts to local and state programs addressing things like infectious disease, mental health, addiction, and childhood vaccination. Did you personally approve those cuts?
No, I'm not familiar with those cuts. We'd have to go. We'd have to go.
There's like more than 50 pages of cuts that I actually went through.
The cuts were mainly DEI cuts, which the president.
There were a lot, but I'll give you, for example, about $750,000 of a University of Michigan grant into adolescent diabetes was cut. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, and that's something that we'll look at.
I didn't know that. We cut what? We cut what? I mean, you didn't cut that. Who cut it? Oh, was that DOGE? Part of what DOGE appears to be doing is cuts that nobody has asked for and nobody can defend. I mean, here's Kennedy at HHS saying, woo, we cut adolescent diabetes research? That sounds terrible. That doesn't sound like something I'd do. I better look into that. Yeah, my dude, that's supposedly something you did. I did? What? Better look into that. I mean, the same goes with the cuts to, now famously, Ebola response and prevention. Oops, we didn't mean to cut that. And the people who handle our nuclear weapons. Oops, didn't mean to cut that. I mean, same goes presumably with the cuts to the firefighters' cancer registry, which Donald Trump himself created. That just got cut. Did Donald Trump want to cut that? Who knows? These cuts, they just, I don't know, they sort of make themselves. So there's them breaking stuff. There's them cutting stuff that they don't even appear to know they are cutting. The third bucket, I think is stuff they do mean to cut, and they're quite gleeful about it. Things like, HIV prevention. They're delighted to cut that. Libraries, museums, the part of the National Highway Transportation Safety Board that oversees the self-driving cars at Elon Musk's Tesla company. Yeah, they're delighted to get rid of all that sort of stuff. So these are just all the things that we can observe, right? We can observe them smashing stuff up so it doesn't work, cutting stuff that they don't understand and that maybe isn't even on purpose. We do see them cutting stuff on purpose as well. But now we're getting to what I think of as the really heavy part of it, the really heavy part of this authoritarian project. Because some of the stuff that they have been doing that has seemed inexplicable is starting to become explicable, is starting to become understandable. Because part of what we are now seeing, this many weeks into this administration, is that when it has appeared that they're just messing with various agencies or trying to access various data systems within agencies, it's not a pointless rummaging that they are doing there. It's not just rummaging around in there and flipping switches and seeing what breaks. Part of what is now emerging is that they've been in these government systems because they're trying to use the government to hurt people as much as they can. So, for example, it turns out they were messing with all the information on international students in a government database so they could target individual international students to snatch them off the street and arrest them and throw them in immigration prisons. It turns out they were messing with sensitive systems inside the IRS and the Treasury, at least in part, so they could use that data to go after immigrants as well. Turns out they were messing with sensitive systems inside the Social Security Administration because they have taught themselves that one way you can really destroy people's lives in this country is if you take the names of living people and declare them dead inside the Social Security Administration. And now on top of that, today, something new. As we have been watching the actions of this government, and particularly the opaque, hard-to-parse actions of this DOGE entity that has been set up under the auspices of the president's top campaign donor, and none of us are allowed to know what they're doing, as we've been trying to figure out what they're actually doing and why, we've now got a brand new set of allegations that we've never encountered before. And if these allegations are true, they suggest an apparently sort of a new sort of bucket, a new type of behavior from these guys that we are only learning about today, thanks to a whistleblower in IT who has the technical skills to actually see what they're doing and who has now come forward to Congress and to the Office of Special Counsel, which protects whistleblowers. He has come forward to explain something else that he believes these guys are doing that we didn't know before. And if he is right, it would seem to explain yet more about what previously seemed inexplicable. What he's describing is also something that seems very, very bad and very dangerous for our country. All right, so here's the story. NPR was first to break this story today. Reporter Jenna McLaughlin publishing a more than 7,000-word piece, citing more than 30 sources. But the core of the story is based on a whistleblower disclosure from an IT staffer at the National Labor Relations Board named Daniel Baroulis. And last month, Mr. Baroulis says that DOGE staffers arrived at the headquarters of the National Labor Relations Board. He can't be positive they were from DOGE, but whoever they were, he says they accessed National Labor Relations Board data systems for about a week. And then they deleted the accounts they had created in order to work in those systems. So they got in for about a week, and then they deleted the accounts they had created to work inside those systems. Now, what's in those systems? Well, National Labor Relations Board has a lot of internal data that's really sensitive. The point of that agency is they adjudicate labor complaints at various companies. So their internal systems include a lot of really sensitive proprietary data about U.S. companies and about their employees and about unions and about whistleblowers. It includes really sensitive stuff like witness testimony and legal information about ongoing cases. According to Mr. Baroulis' disclosure, he believes DOGE staffers took steps to make sure that whatever they did while they were inside the systems at the agency was not logged. So in the internal data systems of the agency, there were no traceable records of what they did inside the system because they configured their access to the system in ways that they could either manually or automatically remove traces of what they had done. But while they were in there, Mr. Baroulis says there was a large exfiltration of data. A large exfiltration of data, almost all text files. And when I say it was a large exfiltration, to give you a sense of how unusual this was for the agency, this screenshot from Mr. Baroulis's disclosure shows that large spike in outbound traffic leaving the agency and how unusual it was compared to normal activity on their systems. He says the logs that should have shown what that was just attributed that large exfiltration of data to a deleted account. And he says the location where the data went had been obscured. There was no listing as to where the data went. Mr. Baroulis then found that while these people were inside the system, this is worrying, they had disabled the core security systems that keep the agency's systems and data secure and private. Quoting from NPR, someone had disabled controls that would prevent insecure or unauthorized mobile devices from logging onto the system without the proper security settings. There was an interface exposed to the public internet, potentially allowing malicious actors access to the NLRB's systems. Internal alerting and monitoring systems were found to be manually turned off, and multi-factor authentication was disabled. Now, why would these guys disable all the security on the system at this agency and then leave it that way when they got out? I don't know, and neither do you. But this is also from Mr. Baroulis's whistleblower disclosure. Quote, I noticed increased logins blocked by our access policy due to those logins being out of the country. For example, in the days after DOGE accessed NLRB's systems, we noticed a user with an IP address in Russia started trying to log in. Those attempts were blocked, but they were especially alarming. Whoever was attempting to log in was using one of the newly created accounts that were used in the other DOGE-related activities. It appeared they had the correct username and password. Now, these attempted logins from Russia were only stopped, quote, due to our no out-of-country logins policy. But there were more than 20 such attempts. And what is particularly concerning is that many of these login attempts occurred within 15 minutes of those accounts being created by DOGE engineers.
The fucking resistance liberals were right again. Holy shit. Holy shit. So we've been watching everything that DOGE is doing. We've been watching, and first of all, as you know, it's wildly illegal. It's wildly unconstitutional. None of it is allowed. Like, it's all illegal. But it looks like, hey, Elon is effectively an anarcho-capitalist. He doesn't want there to be any social safety net. He doesn't want there to be any regulatory bodies whatsoever. And so he's piece by piece dismantling every good thing about the government, which is why they've cut like Meals on Wheels and pediatric cancer research, and they're destroying Social Security. And so from one perspective, it looked ideological. Like, I know Elon wants all the government money. He's gotten $38 billion in tax money. But he feels like, hey, if you're a regular person in America, fuck you. You deserve no social safety net. You deserve no money. And so the ideology here in question is effectively anarcho-capitalism, destroy the social safety net. That's what everybody who looked at this, like, that's what everybody was thinking. Like, oh, this is the mindset. But if what this whistleblower is saying is true, then what DOGE is doing, particularly around stealing all of this data, it is way, way more nefarious. And the idea is they're taking this data and potentially selling it to hostile foreign actors. And that speaks for itself, doesn't it? So they're taking the data, either working in conjunction with hostile foreign actors and getting paid as a result of it, or somebody like also hacked the hackers and are trying to get in. But either way, they've made the systems colossally unsafe. Your data is no longer protected. And again, worst case scenario, they're in cahoots with hostile foreign actors. And then the question has to come about, how much are these people getting paid? And what the fuck are they getting paid for? We know that some of the people who got into our nuclear safety programs, one of them had been fired from a previous job for giving away sensitive company secrets. So this is what we're dealing with here. This is what we're working with here. This is serious. Like, the allegation from this guy, if it's true, is basically like, these guys are committing treason. They are illegally hacking into our government programs and shipping off sensitive data to hostile foreign entities, and also at the same time, seemingly purposely destroying our entire government infrastructure, our entire social safety net. So perhaps it's not ideological. Perhaps the destruction is the point. They don't think like, oh, we're doing something good here by getting rid of the social safety net. They think like, no, we're trying to destroy everything because we're being paid to destroy it, and also to feed this sensitive data to hostile foreign entities. So obviously this all requires a massive, massive investigation, but you're unlikely to get any investigation at all because who's going to fucking investigate him? Trump's DOJ is going to investigate Elon Musk? Like, the rule of law is gone, bro.
I mean, the allegations here, to sum them up, kind of go like this. Now, NBC News has not independently verified these allegations. This is simply what has been described in a whistleblower's disclosure from Mr. Baroulis. But what he is saying is this. According to what he can tell, they get in, they structure their access once they're in there so nobody can see what they're doing while they're in there. While they are in there, lots of data from this very sensitive agency gets taken to parts unknown. Then they leave all the doors unlocked and all the alarms off, and then immediately someone with an IP address in Russia starts logging into the system using one of the DOGE accounts with what appears to be a working username and password.
Bro, and how many business deals does Elon Musk have with foreign nations? How many business deals does he have with China? How many business deals does he have with Russia? How many business deals does he have with these foreign governments who have tremendous power and sway and money that they can cut these sorts of deals with him, right? He's certainly acting like a hostile foreign agent at the moment with the massive amount of destruction he's doing.
And then there's one last piece of this. Mr. Baroulis says that within the agency, they saw enough to convene a formal review of what they perceive to be a serious breach, a theft of the agency's sensitive data. They started their formal review. They prepared a request to CISA, the cybersecurity agency at Homeland Security, to help them investigate. As that process of requesting help from CISA was underway, Mr. Baroulis got a personal threat. Quote,
he got a personal threat?
Days after Baroulis and his colleagues prepared a request for CISA's help investigating the breach, Baroulis found a printed letter in an envelope taped to his door, which included threatening language, sensitive personal information, and overhead pictures of him walking his dog. It is unclear who sent it, but the letter made specific reference to his decision to report the breach. Law enforcement is investigating the letter.
What the fuck? So the question is, who the fuck is Elon Musk working with? Who is DOGE working with? Or who are they working for? Is it a hostile foreign government? Are they being paid by certain companies to get highly sensitive data on, say, whistleblowers at those companies, right? And they know that this guy's, as a whistleblower, he's going to basically expose all of it, so they're literally directly threatening his life. You don't threaten somebody's life if you're doing something hunky-dory and peachy, dog. You don't threaten his life, leave a direct threatening message, and show him a picture of himself walking his fucking dog from a drone, by the way, from a drone. You don't do that unless something immensely nefarious is going on. So it looks like, based on these actions, the worst possible interpretation of what they're doing is more likely to be correct. This is a gigantic scandal. Homie's basically like, hey, I think Elon and DOGE are working with hostile foreign actors to destroy the U.S. government and ship sensitive data there, right? And it seems to be verified by the fact that now he's getting personal direct threats. This guy's a fucking hero. His life's in danger by just blowing the whistle on, hey, our government's sort of being destroyed and they're stealing everybody's data.
In a letter to the House and Senate committees who had oversight over NLRB, the agency here, Mr. Baroulis' lawyer, who's from the nonprofit group Whistleblower Aid, he tells the chairs and the ranking members of those committees, quote, the threatening note made clear reference to this very disclosure Mr. Baroulis was preparing for you as the proper oversight authority. While we do not know specifically who did this, we can only speculate that it involves someone with the ability to access NLRB systems. This meat space action, meaning real life, this meat space action where a threat was physically delivered to my client's home is absolutely disturbing in its manner and the implications suggested therein. Accordingly, we have been and will continue to be coordinating with appropriate law enforcement agencies.
Stop and think about it, man. Like, this is literally one of the reasons why the law is what it is. As you all know, Congress has the power of the purse. They decide, hey, what are we going to spend money on? What's in the budget, etc. The president will sign the bill, right? Then it goes to the Treasury and the funds are sent out. That's the way it works. You have, the inspectors general who check for fraud. You have the Government Accountability Office, which is legally allowed to check for fraud. But outside of those, the inspector general and the GAO, that's it. You can't have some random non-government agent, government agent bureaucrat like Elon Musk, who's the world's richest robber baron, by the way, who bought the White House. You can't have him just hack in and decide, I want to delete this. I want to delete that. I want to steal that data. Because who the fuck are they in bed with? The idea you could just let anybody hack around in the back there and do whatever they want with our government spending, that nullifies both Congress and the president. So now the world's richest man is above Congress and the president, and now we see with this, who the fuck is he working for? Who's he working for? Because there's now direct threats are involved, and they show wrongdoing, and it's clear that there's some hostile foreign agents trying to get this information and are getting this information, and now this dude's getting threatened? Who is Elon Musk working for? Who is DOGE working for? What are they? It's not for the American people. We know it's not. How is cutting pediatric cancer research helping the American people? I'll wait. How is destroying the CFPB, the anti-scam police, how is that helping the American people? I'll wait. How is cutting Social Security payments people illegally, how is that helping anybody? It's not. It's not. They're destroying the government on purpose and stealing data on purpose, and they're doing it for hostile reasons. Who are they working for?
Given the aforementioned, we request that both law enforcement agencies and Congress initiate an immediate investigation into the cybersecurity breach and data exfiltration at NLRB and any other agencies where DOGE has accessed internal systems. Now, we tried to get comment tonight from the White House and from NLRB, in addition to requests by NBC News for comment from NLRB and Elon Musk. There was a statement to NPR from an NLRB spokesperson in which the spokesperson denied that NLRB granted DOGE access to its systems. They said DOGE had not requested access to the agency's systems. They said an internal investigation conducted after Mr. Baroulis raised his concerns, quote, determined that no breach of agency systems occurred.
The dude's got receipts. You can't say shit like that.
The whistleblower himself and his attorney are going to join us here live next. Stay with us.
So go watch that interview. Also go watch, he did an interview with CNN as well. This is just a straight-laced dude who's just trying to tell the story of what happened. If you watch it, you'll get that sense from him too, right? This guy has no partisan political axe to grind. This guy has no ulterior motives. I mean, he's literally like putting his life in danger by just telling the truth here. This is beyond disturbing. Look, we've been saying this for a long time. Elon Musk needs to be arrested. He needs to be arrested. His DOGE underlings need to be arrested. How many laws do they break on a fucking daily basis? How many laws have they broken on a daily fucking basis? And then now there's evidence of not only breaking a bunch of laws, but a grand conspiracy with stealing highly sensitive information and selling it to either other companies or selling it to hostile foreign governments and destroying the U.S. administrative state potentially at the behest of a hostile foreign government? Every time you think, hey man, this administration can't get worse, check yourself. It can get worse, and it will get worse. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.